Hi friends, Krista here. Thanks for stopping by Books and Jams. I'm here today to do another video in the series of books on my shelves with blank in the title. I probably should have saved this one for like National Library Month or Library Lovers Day or whatever, some kind of holiday that has to do with the library. But maybe it's one of those things like every day should be a holiday where we love the library. Because today I'm going to be talking about the books on my shelves with the word library in the title. And I have quite a few. I actually have more than what was originally on my list. A couple more were just gifted to me. Then I thought I should also include the word librarian, and that added 5 more to my list. So I have quite a few books here to share with you. I'm going to start with 2 books that I have read. There are quite a few more that I have already read with the word library in the title, but I'm just going to highlight 2 of them that are a little different from my normal read. The first one I'm going to talk about is The Library by Sarah Stewart and pictures by David Small. This is a children's picture book, and it is absolutely delightful. And we just follow this woman who loves to read and loves to collect books and eventually opens up a library. Like, it's just such a sweet story about how she brings books everywhere, is constantly reading, how she grew up as a kid. Like, it's just very sweet and silly and delightful. And a lover of books for sure. I love this. The other book that I've already read that has library in the title is called The Library Book by Susan Orlean. This is a nonfiction that's starting point is kind of this huge fire that happened at a Los Angeles public library in 1986. Then it kind of goes from there to just really expound upon why libraries are important, how great they are for the community, how the kind of the history of libraries, especially in America. And it just was a fabulous love story to libraries everywhere, focusing on mainly this Los Angeles County Public Library and how it has impacted its community. It's a fantastic nonfiction read. I would highly recommend that if you are a lover of your library like I am. But now I have a whole ton more of books that have the word library in the title. We'll start with those, and then I'll do the few that have librarian as well. I have 9 with the word library and 6 with the word librarian. What? Like, holy moly. This is a fun way to look at books on my shelves, though. So again, I have Summer Hours at the Robbers Library. I talked about this with my summer books because it has the word summer in it as well. This is by Sue Halpern, and it takes place in a small town in New Hampshire. And we kind of get to know some of the characters, the patrons of the library, and their lives and how they interact. And I've heard good things about that one. I have 3 then that are middle grade books. So I have The Library of Ever, which is a bit of a fantasy by Zeno Alexander. You'll find every book ever written and every fact ever known on its shelves. It says, reads like someone mixed Neil Gaiman with Chris Grabenstein and threw in an extra dash of charm. Please let me read this. It's actually really short. I should read this soon. Then this one was just gifted to me, The Lost Library by Rebecca Sed and Wendy Mass. This is kind of a fantastical story where a little free library ends up being a portal to another world. I'm so here for that. This is the second to last book in the Pages & Co. series by Anna James, and it's The Treehouse Library. It continues to follow book smugglers, kids who are able to go into book stories. So I'm very eager to continue and finish this series. I have one cozy mystery, and this is a murder for the books. I should have probably saved it. You'll see it again because obviously I'm going to have one of these videos with book in the title. It is part of the Blue Ridge Library Mystery Series by Victoria Gilbert. So I did want to include it in this one, but I probably could have gotten away with not. But this is a cozy mystery set in a library. We have The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, which is a little bit of sci-fi, I believe. Fantasy, sci-fi. I'm not really sure what this would be classified as. All about the choices that we make in our lives and how that affects us, and what if we could change that. I'm not really sure exactly. I know this one has some mixed reviews. I'm eager to see where I land with it. Then we have a historical that's a little bit gothic as well, The Last Heir to the Blackwood Library by Hester Fox. Not gothic. I should have said a little bit supernatural. I believe there might be some ghosties in here. In post-World War I England, a young woman inherits a mysterious library and must untangle its powerful secrets. So I believe there are some undead living in this library of this house where she inherited. I'm excited to read that, but I haven't heard the greatest things about it, to be honest. Then I have 2 more historical fiction. This one is World War II, The Little Wartime Library by Kate Thompson. Yeah, London, 1944. And this one takes place in the underground in a tube station. Bethnal Green tube station kind of becomes the country's only underground library. There's like a whole community that develops down in the underground station, a nursery, a cafe, a theater, and then also this library. And our main character, is a librarian at this underground library. Sounds good to me. And then The Library of Legends by Janie Chang is a historical fiction, but this is set in China. And I believe during 1937, Japanese bombs start falling on Nanking. 19-year-old Hu Lian and her classmates at the university are ordered to flee. They must walk 1,000 miles to safety and are constantly under a threat of aerial attack. And they've been entrusted a priceless treasure, a 500-year-old collection of myths and folklore known as the Library of Legends. So this group of college students has to take these priceless treasures across country and hope to not get attacked. Holy moly, sounds so good. Maybe this needs to make it onto my TBR for Catch-Up-a-thon, because that sounds really good as I'm reading the description. And then I have a few more that have the word librarian in the title. Another one that I just recently received for my birthday is The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians. This is a nonfiction, collected by James Patterson and Matt Eversman. And it's just a collection of just what it says, stories from booksellers and librarians. And I'm very intrigued. I've heard such wonderful things about this one. I should put that on my soon to read. I have two of these are middle grade. The first one is Here Lies the Librarian by Richard Peck. Fabulous, kind of classic looking cover. Pee-wee McGrath is a 14-year-old girl who dresses like a boy and lives with her older brother Jake, helps run the family auto mechanic business in 1914 Indiana. All that's about to change. The town library has been closed since the death of the librarian, a woman so stern even a twister didn't dare touch her grave. But when 4 young women with flashy cars arrive with plans to reopen the building, life gets very interesting. So it sounds like a sweet little story about a small town library in Indiana. 1914, a little bit historical too. Of course, I have Brandon Sanderson's Alcatraz versus the Evil Librarians. This is his middle grade series. I believe this is book 1. There are tons of illustrations throughout this book, and I love Brandon Sanderson. I've only read his adult works so far. I know he has a YA series, and this is part of a middle grade series, so intrigued to read more. Then I have 3 left that are all historical. I have a Christian historical fiction by Kim Vogel Sawyer, The Librarian of Boone's Hollow. This is going to be a Packhorse Library Project story, similar to The Bookwoman of Troublesome Creek and Giver of Stars by Jojo Moyes. So similar to those, but a Christian fiction twist on it. So curious and eager to read that. We have The Librarian of Burned Books by Brianna Labusques. This is a World War II novel. 3 women who believe in the power of books to triumph over the very darkest moments of war, and it is inspired by a true story. So it takes place in Germany and Paris and New York, but all during the war. So 1933 Berlin, 1936 Paris, and 1944 New York. So I'm not sure if those 3 storylines are going to combine at all, or like if they're going to intertwine, or if it's just about these 3 different women. So curious about that. And then this one was one of my Christmas book exchange, The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio Iturbe. This is a translated book, which is kind of cool. And I believe, it's a World War II as well. Historical fiction set in Auschwitz. Based on the experiences of real-life Auschwitz prisoner Dita Kraus, this is the incredible story of a girl who risked her life to keep the magic of books alive during the Holocaust. She's 14 years old when she was imprisoned at Auschwitz. Oof, crazy. Definitely interested in that one as well. So those are all of my books with the word library or librarian in the title. More than I thought I had. I had 7 on my list originally, and I was kind of going to go... For this series, I was going to go in order, like summer was my smallest. I thought library was my second smallest, but apparently it's not. And then working my way up to the word that I have the most books. I loved all of your guesses, and I did add a few more words to this series. It's kind of fun to look at my shelves in this new way. Okay, from this stack, I'm actually going to add the Library of Legends to my plans for Catch-Up-a-thon, see if I can get this read at the beginning of August. And then The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians, as well as The Lost Library that were just both gifted to me. I'm adding these to my kind of read soon pile, adding these 3 to The Summer of Songbirds, which is the book I pulled out from my summer stack. So I'm going to find a space on my shelves to keep these books so they're out and separate, and that's a place that I'll look to grab some books. But these are the ones I'm hoping to read really soon. We'll see. All right, thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear if you have any other books with library or librarian in the title that you've read and loved or that are on your shelves. Let me know if you've read any of these, if I should move them even higher up my TBR. Let's chat about all books with the word library in the title. Spread some library love today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this video. I look forward to chatting with you in another one really soon. Bye.